And I often express this when I drove from the community here in Kittigan-Zibi to Ottawa very often, and I would look at the river, and for me, I would imagine my ancestors, the ancestors of the Anishinaabe, who may not have even called themselves Algonquin. That didn't matter. I envisioned them being on the river in their birch bark canoe, either going down or going up the river, with their elderly, with the baby that were just born. Maybe somebody died and was buried along the river, and they're canoeing, maybe dreaming about what the next 500 years where it's going to look like.
I'm Rita Jane, and I'm a director at the Friends of the Gatineau River. The goal of the Gatineau River is to allow it to be flowing free, wild, and clean. It's really important to make sure that we protect it and make sure that it's able to flow and provide the home for all the biodiversity. FOG is in the process of embarking, trying to achieve legal personhood. We are just at the very beginning of that. And from the moment that I heard about that project, when Gilbert White Duck, an elder from Kittigan-Zibi, talked about it in an interview, it really spoke to me because, to me, that's the ultimate way of protecting the river. We try to encourage the municipalities to do their absolute best in terms of protecting the river. So this river is actually fairly clean. I encourage you to go to our website because we actually have all the results. The results are actually pretty good. Most of the river is very swimmable. Excellent results. There are a few hot spots that we're watching, and one is by a sewage treatment plant, and the other one is by a creek where there's a lot of farm. It's important for everyone to know how to interact with the river in a respectful way, and once you know, you can spread the word. Maybe they perhaps don't know the impacts of some of their actions. The other thing I would say is get involved. There's a lot of things that we can do, clean up shorelines, there's lots of work to do. I feel like we're always on the tipping point. It could tip over. We have so many rivers in Canada that aren't swimmable, that aren't drinkable, and this is not one of them yet. But it could turn on a dime if we're not vigilant. So I think it's important to always keep watching, keep measuring, and letting people know that we're getting close. And at some point, it might, the pressures that we're putting on this river might be too much, and it just won't be swimmable, drinkable, and our biodiversity would die. Water is life. Some of our immediate goals, which include, advocacy, monitoring, education, but also celebration. For example, our annual celebration we're having on September 9th as the Gatineau River Fest. And then a big celebration at the Wakefield Community Center with Indigenous music and art. We're partnering right now with the International Observatory for Rights of Nature.
Our observatory its main mission is to observe and analyze different cases that are happening around the world, but also promoting a paradigm shift in Canada and in other parts of the world. To collaborate with former Chief Gilbert White Duck, he's really keen to recognize the legal personhood for the Gatineau River, and also to invite the non-Indigenous persons to embrace this paradigm shift. As we are experts and also lawyers, we can contribute in some strategies to get there. So we are supporting the project that is led by former Chief Gilbert White Duck. It's a huge step for a person like Mr. White Duck, an Indigenous person who believes in this important change, to support him, and also because we have seen rivers as only being objects, and we have forgotten that they are also an important part of the life. So they are sustaining life for different species, not only for the human species, but also for the others with whom we share the planet. So rivers are essential for any form of life on Earth, And that's why we encourage and we accompany and we are giving support to those people who want to protect the river. We need to understand ourselves as being part of the river, and that the river is not only for our own necessities, is not just a provider of services. The Gatineau River is a special river that has its own history. And also because around river, we find people who are engaged to protect the river. And that's so important. When you see people that are very engaged with the protection of the river, they are doing analysis of the quality of the river, the movement of the species. Our planet is trying to pass a message with the fires, with the climate change, with the droughts. With many things that are going on around the world. So we are not alone. What we are doing here has a consequence in another part of the world.
Indigenous people were heavily impacted by colonization and continue to be, from education to religion and all of these things. We've always maintained, or to a large extent, maintained a close connection to spirituality. It is said, the teachings of the medicine wheel tell us, among many other things, that every race of people, and we often speak of 4 races of people, we could say 6, but I'll say 4 that are represented in the medicine wheel, and we are considered to be the red people, and there's a reason for that. That the gift that we were given was the gift of spirit or spirituality. That's a gift that we were given by the Creator. I go back to the rights of nature. What are the rights of nature? Who defines the rights of nature? And I was saying on the weekend at the Riverfest, corporations are considered to have a personhood, jurisdictional personhood. Yet we fail or don't want to give that same recognition to something that is truly living. A corporation isn't, but legally it is considered. And yet we're not giving it to what is all around us and alive. I've been compared time and time again to the veins in our body, that this is the blood of Jojo Aki, Mother Earth. Jojo Aki, Mother Earth, it's the veins. It's back alive the way it should. I'm hoping, whatever time period it is, that when that generation is looking back, they're going to look at paper and say, the water, yeah, there's problems with the water and the environment today. Yeah, there's some problems. But look at the people. They came together. They worked together. They took action. They did it. They didn't achieve everything. They didn't achieve everything they wanted to. But damn it, without them, we wouldn't have this today. We wouldn't have this possibility. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that that's what it will be. And therefore, I'm hoping that our actions is based on that we're not doing it for ourselves. Good God, we're not doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're in the moment, of course, but we're doing it for all of those generations. We're the ones that are responsible, to leave something better, as they say, than when we got it. And Mother Earth is the life giver to all that's on the planet, and all of those concepts have been really pushed aside by colonization, because colonization, I believe, continues to view it as we can take the resources from the land, and then the idea, well, we're going to protect 2 kilometers. Great, but how about protecting the whole thing? I have to get emotionally attached because this is alive. It's something that's alive, and it has rights, and if I'm hurting it in any way, I'm infringing on the rights of nature. And if I'm infringing on the rights of nature, then either I do something about it or I suffer the consequences. And right now, there are not a whole lot of legal, there are some, I understand, legal consequences, but there's not the consequences that will come from nature.